Saudi Arabia, the world's biggest surprise. They tell you that Saudi Arabia is a land of oil's strict rules and holy sites. But beneath the glass towers and desert prayers, something ancient waits. Symbols no one can read. Gates built for forgotten gods. Places where souls once lost never return. No map marks them. No tour takes you anywhere near them. Saudi Arabia is a country, but also a vast storehouse of memories where history is carved in stone and the soul still lingers. This is a land where every symbol, every ancient gate tells a story that has never faded. Not all gates in Saudi Arabia belong to forgotten gods. Some rise in glass and steel shimmering above the desert. In Riyadh, the capital of the kingdom, the desert gives way to glass and steel, where the kingdom's center tower rises like a crown above the city. Locals call it Al-Mamlaka, the kingdom. To those coming from afar, it appeared as a shining punctuation mark etched in the sky. To Saudis, it marks a turning point, the nation's leap from sand and oil into a new era of ambition. Riyadh sparkles with towers and glittering boulevards. But the city's soul still beats to the timeless rhythm of the desert flowing beneath the highways and neon lights. Souks spill with spices, oud wood, and gold. The call to prayer drifts between glass malls and ancient mosques. In Riyadh, the past lives on, vividly etched in the city's vibrancy. Echoes of the nomadic past weave through the street names, while glass towers rise like images from another era. And the name Kingdom carries more than politics, it carries myth. It speaks of something older than oil, deeper than concrete, the dream of unity in a fractured land. Before the age of towers and turbines, there was a city made of earth Diriyah, the pulse that started it all. Nestled along the Wadi Hanifa Valley just outside modern-day Riyadh lies the ancient cradle of the Saudi state. This is where the first chapter began. In the mid-18th century, the Al Saud dynasty emerged from these sun-baked walls, forging an alliance that would shape the fate of the entire Arabian Peninsula. At its heart stands At-Turayf, a city of mud brick palaces and narrow alleyways, a place once teeming with scholars, merchants and warriors, now frozen in time, but every wall still hums with memory. In 2010, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site, but for Saudis, it has always been sacred. Every cracked wall and weathered door seems to echo with the footsteps of founders. From these ruins rose a nation, and though time and war have left their marks, the soul of Diriyah endures, resilient, grounded, proud. More than ruins, Diriyah is where a nation first whispered itself into being. And no kingdom, no matter how modern, can exist without remembering where it was born. Not far from Diriyah's ancient clay walls, another symbol pierces the sky, sleek, futuristic. The Al Faisaliya Tower, completed in the year 2000, it was the first skyscraper to rise in Riyadh. At the time, it seemed almost alien, its glass needle and golden sphere, a stark contrast to the low beige sprawl of the city. But for Saudi Arabia, it marked something far greater than just engineering. It marked a shift. What rose wasn't just architecture, it was aspiration made visible. The tower's design, a tapering obelisk crowned by a glass globe, was unlike anything the city had seen. Some saw it as a pen writing a new chapter, others as a compass pointing toward a different tomorrow. Silently, it planted the blueprint for a city that would one day touch the clouds. Around it downtown, Riyadh began to transform. Markets gave way to malls. Dusty streets turned into polished boulevards. Foreign banks moved in, restaurants multiplied, and neon slowly outshined the call to prayer. Al Faisaliya Tower stands tall and silent. It is the first tower that tells the story of Riyadh's new era. If Riyadh is the heart of the kingdom, then Wadi Hanifa is its breath. Winding over 120 kilometers through rock and dust, this ancient valley defies every desert cliché. A ribbon of green threading quietly through beige, a reminder that life always finds a way, even where it seems impossible. Once neglected and overrun by waste, the valley has been transformed into the city's largest ecological revival. Terraced walkways now run beside restored wetlands, birds return in flocks, and the waters once poisoned now reflect the sky again. But this is more than urban landscaping, it's memory restoration. Centuries ago, caravans followed this very path. Its water-sustained settlements long before Riyadh was a capital. Farmers read the seasons by how the reeds grew. The valley is not just a feature of geography, it is a witness to time. In a city that stretches toward the sky, Wadi Hanifa gently pulls us back to the ground. A reminder that even amidst progress, there must be roots, deep, hidden, and nourishing. For even the tallest towers need the quiet strength of the earth beneath them. A green sanctuary in stone and steel, it breathes life into Riyadh. Before words had shape, before gods had names, humans carved their truth into stone. In the shadow of the Nafu Desert, just outside the town of Juba Jabal Sinman, a sandstone ridge that holds stories far older than any book. Etched into dark sandstone cliffs are petroglyphs some over 9,000 years old. They tell of hunts and herds of dancers and deities, of lives lived in rhythm with wind beast and fire. There are no names signed, no rulers crowned, only scenes men with bows ostriches in mid-stride camels that had yet to be tamed. It's as if the land itself remembers what the world forgot. Recognized by UNESCO, these stone etchings stand as timeless declarations carved with meaning beyond decoration. They are archives, histories without paper. These stones stand as witness. Arabia didn't wait for history. It wrote its own before the world was watching. And perhaps the most humbling truth is this: they lived without borders and maps their place carved into the land itself, beneath the same sun that still watches us today. Tucked between green ridges and drifting clouds, there lies a village shaped by stone and by the lingering echoes of generations past. Rijal Almaa, a name that means the men of the bright valley, and true to its name, it shines its light drawn from earth, from slate, and from the sun itself. Perched in the highlands of the Asir region, this multi-story stone village once served as a vital trading hub, linking the southern Arabian Peninsula with Mecca and the Red Sea. What makes it remarkable goes beyond history. It's how memory lingers in every stone, softly like breath that never left. Each house, stacked like a page in a stone book, tells a story. Painted wooden windows, white geometric patterns etched onto black basalt, and inside walls adorned with vibrant murals, a centuries-old tradition known as Al-Khat al-Asiri, once passed from mother to daughter. The architecture here is both fortress and gallery, built to endure, yet meant to inspire. Today, Rijal Almaa has become a symbol of cultural pride, nominated for UNESCO recognition, and lovingly restored by locals who refuse to let its story fade. Here, time pauses and is captured in stone, in silence, in the lingering echoes of history. Mecca. And now beyond these mountains and valleys, time does move, drawing us closer to the very heart of faith itself. From stone villages that whisper memory, the journey leads us to a city where devotion never sleeps. Mecca. Here, within the embrace of Al-Masjid al-Haram, millions gather each year, circling the Kaaba in a timeless rhythm, a living tide of devotion flowing through the centuries. At the center of Mecca, surrounded by marble and prayer, by tears and silence. The Kaaba, a cube of stone wrapped in black silk, small in form, but vast in meaning. It is the axis of faith for over 1 billion souls, the point to which every Muslim, wherever they are in the world, turns to pray. For millions each year, it stands as both their guiding star and the destination of their devotion. Masjid al-Haram. The Grand Mosque unfolds around it like an embrace. White arcs of colonnades, the rhythmic motion of thousands circling in unison. And above them, all the desert sky, soft with dusk and devotion. But what makes this place holy is not its architecture. It's what people bring to it. Grief, hope, gratitude, surrender. It is the sound of whispered prayers in every language carried on the same wind. It is the child seeing it for the first time, and the old man seeing it perhaps for the last. The Kaaba has stood through empires, through desert storms and centuries, weathered by time but never undone. Each step, each prayer, a link in a chain that stretches back 14 centuries. In the stillness of stone and the movement of people, faith becomes visible. Devotion is like an ocean current, flowing endlessly around a single spiritual heart. And from the devotion in Mecca, the journey continues north across the sun-drenched plains, where the call to prayer is gentler. This journey leads to Medina, the city of the Prophet, where faith is not only in motion, but also in silent memory. Amid the golden glow of Medina's desert sun, Al-Masjid an-Nabawi, the mosque of the Prophet Muhammad. Here the heart of Islam beats within every stone, living on in the eternal memory of the man who carried the message of faith to humanity. As the second holiest site in Islam after the Grand Mosque, in Mecca, Al-Masjid an-Nabawi carries within it an immense spiritual weight. Every year, millions of worshippers from around the world flock here to pray, meditate, and seek a spiritual connection with the Prophet who laid the foundation stones of this shrine, leaving an indelible mark on the history of Islam. Built by the Prophet himself in the 7th century, the mosque has evolved over the centuries into an impressive architectural complex with marble courtyards, towering minarets, and gleaming white domes. The centerpiece of the mosque is the blue dome, beneath which lies the tomb of the Prophet Muhammad, along with the tombs of his closest companions, Abu Bakr and Umar. For many visitors, standing before this sacred chamber is a moment of profound reverence and humility, an opportunity to offer blessings and prayers to the Messenger of God. The mosque's vast prayer halls can accommodate hundreds of thousands of worshippers, especially during Ramadan and Hajj, when Medina becomes a sea of worship. Intricate calligraphy, soft carpets, and the gentle rhythm of congregational prayer create an atmosphere that is both majestic and peaceful. Radiant in its architectural splendor, Al-Masjid al-Nabawi shines as a symbol of Islam's eternal message: unity, compassion, and devotion to the will of Allah. Within its serene walls, every believer embraces a spiritual journey where faith and the present moment meet in a bond that endures forever. Here, history and holiness unite, shaping Medina into a living testament to the Prophet's legacy. Before marble shone and minarets reached for the heavens, before kingdoms rose and faded into dust, there stood Quba Mosque, the first house of worship in Islam where the story of a global faith quietly began. Built during the Prophet Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina in the early 7th century, this humble sanctuary marks the dawn of a spiritual tradition that would spread across continents and generations. From the outside, Quba is serene and understated, its white domes gleaming softly beneath the Medina sun. But within its walls lingers a significance far greater than its size. Here the Prophet himself laid the foundation stones, praying with his companions and establishing a model of worship and community that continues to guide Muslims today. Pilgrims who visit Quba often speak of a unique stillness, a peace that feels almost timeless. According to Islamic tradition, offering prayers here carries the reward of an accepted pilgrimage, a blessing that draws millions each year to pause and reflect. Quba Mosque rises as an enduring symbol of beginnings. The first call to prayer, the first gathering of believers, the first steps of a faith destined to reshape the world. In its silent majesty, Quba reveals a timeless truth: the most extraordinary journeys of faith rise from the simplest beginnings. Every beginning needs a path, and every path a gateway. For Islam's pilgrims, that gateway was Jeddah. Perched on the shores of the Red Sea, Balad, historic Jeddah, welcomed pilgrims on their first step toward Mecca. Ships from Africa, India, and distant lands anchored in its harbor, bringing treasures of trade and hearts yearning for the sacred. In this place, faith intertwined with commerce and devotion journeyed alongside discovery. Al-Balad rises on the shores of the Red Sea, with walls built not of stone, but of coral, pulled from the ocean itself. Its narrow alleys and wooden lattice windows tell a story that stretches back more than 1,000 years. Long before oil transformed the Arabian Peninsula, Jeddah was already thriving. A bustling port that welcomed merchants from Africa, India, and beyond. Spices, silk, and stories passed through these streets, making the city a true crossroads of cultures. Balad flourished as a gateway to Mecca, where countless pilgrims began their sacred journey. Ships anchored in its harbor, and caravans set forth from Jeddah's gates, carrying believers toward the holy sanctuary inland. Walking through its ancient souks today, one feels the enduring legacy of a place where faith and commerce wove together. In every exchange, many of the coral stone houses stand beautifully restored, their carved wooden balconies painted in shades of green and blue that catch the desert light. In 2014, UNESCO honored historic Jeddah as a World Heritage Site, securing its preservation for generations to come. Balad endures as the living memory of a city forever open to the world. Deep in the desert of northwestern Saudi Arabia lies Madain Saleh, also known as Hegra, a city sculpted from living stone, rising timelessly from the sands. Shaped by the Nabateans over 2 millennia ago, its monumental tombs, carved into sandstone cliffs, stand as guardians of a forgotten civilization. Over 100 monumental tombs rise from sandstone cliffs, their facades etched with intricate details that have defied both wind and centuries. Hegra was not just a necropolis, it was a vital stop on the ancient incense trade route that linked Arabia with Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Mediterranean world. Caravans laden with frankincense, myrrh, and spices once passed through these canyons, leaving behind traces of cultures that converged in this desert crossroads. In 2008, UNESCO declared Madain Saleh the first World Heritage Site of Saudi Arabia, a moment that crowned it with global recognition and awakened the revival of living memory. Today, walking among the tombs, you feel the weight of silence pressed into stone. The air carries both grandeur and mystery, reminding us that civilizations rise and fall, but their stories endure. Nearby, the town of Al-Ula complements Hegra with a living landscape, palm groves, sandstone outcrops shaped by wind into surreal forms, and restored mud brick villages that breathe with life once more. Al-Ula and Hegra stand as testaments to human ambition, to carve permanence in a world of shifting sand. If Hegra speaks in the echoes of civilizations etched into stone, then the empty quarter responds with a silence so vast, an endless sea of sand where history is erased as quickly as it is made. In the south stretches the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter, the largest sand desert in the world. An endless ocean of dunes. It covers an area larger than the whole of France. The silence here is absolute, broken only by the wind shaping the dunes into waves of gold. Few places on Earth test the limits of survival as fiercely as the empty quarter. Yet even here, nomadic tribes once navigated by stars, carrying stories and traditions across the sands. Travel westward, and the scenery transforms. In the Asia Mountains, green ridges climb above the clouds, catching monsoon rains that turn valleys into fertile terraces. Here life feels like another world, where cool breezes sweep through juniper forests and stone villages cling to the slopes, each house a quiet testament to the beauty of resilience. This highland region offers a glimpse into a Saudi Arabia that defies the stereotype of desert alone. And finally, far out in the Red Sea, the Kharasan Islands appear like jewels scattered on turquoise water. Protected as a marine reserve, the islands shelter rare gazelles, migratory birds, and coral reefs bursting with life. Fishermen still cast their nets as their ancestors did, and visitors find a peace shaped by sea and salt. Together, the empty quarter, the Asia Mountains, and the Kharasan Islands reveal a truth Saudi Arabia unfolds as a tapestry of landscapes. From the vast desert to the lush green peaks and the delicate coral reefs, it is a land of contrasts where survival beauty and wonder stand side by side. Medina Saleh is known as the Petra of Arabia. It is a voice from the desert calling us to remember the beauty and faith that once thrived in the harshest lands and still awaits discovery today. From towering deserts to ancient stone cities, from sacred mosques to mountain villages, Saudi Arabia reveals itself as a land of contrasts where history and faith, resilience and beauty still live side by side. These places are destinations and at the same time windows into a story that continues to shape the world. If this journey has left an impression on you, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to True Globe for more journeys across cultures, history, and nature. The world is big, and every corner has a story waiting to be told. Thank you for joining us on this journey today.